Hey y'all, what's good, what's poppin'? I'm so excited to get into today's video because today we're doing a foundation review. I haven't done a foundation review in a minute and I'm really excited to do one for y'all, especially on this one because this is a product that I was really excited to see launched, and it is this Tower 28 Beauty SunnyDays Tinted Sunscreen Foundation. Tower 28 is a brand that I've been using products from for over 2 years now. When they released their original highlighter balm, I was instantly obsessed with the brand. I've also tried out some of their lip glosses, some of their cream blushes. I even tried out their cream bronzer, and recently they released this Tinted Sunscreen Foundation, and I was waiting for a product like this to come out. I was just waiting on them to drop a foundation, a concealer, something like that. As soon as I saw they dropped this product, I went ahead and went out and picked me one up. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a review, a demo, a wear test, all that good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this product, demonstrate the application for y'all, and see how it holds up through a day's wear. So if y'all are interested in seeing that video, be sure to stick around to the end. We're going to get into it. But before we do that, I do just want to say thank you to all my new and returning subscribers out there. Thank y'all so much for sticking around, constantly supporting my content and helping me to grow my channel. If you are new here and you haven't already, if you're interested in makeup and skincare related content, just be sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell button as well so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's get into it. I do want to say also before we get into the video, I am going to break this video up into a couple parts. I'm going to go ahead and leave timestamps for all of that down in the description below. That way, if you're just interested in certain parts of the review, you don't have to waste your time sitting through the whole video or skipping around trying to find what you want. But let's go ahead and get into it. So before I go ahead and demonstrate the product, apply it for y'all, I do just want to go ahead and gloss over the product description. So just briefly glancing over the description here on the Sephora website, it says SunnyDays SPF 30 Tinted Sunscreen Foundation evens redness, protects from sun damage, and soothes UV stressed skin while maintaining a natural finish so your real skin, freckles included, can have its moment in the sun. The formula is fragrance free, alcohol free, non-greasy, non-white cast, and non-oxidizing. It's also the first and only complexion makeup product with National Eczema Association's seal of acceptance. So I actually want to talk about that last sentence here real quick. That's one thing about this brand that I'm really drawn to. I believe the founder of the brand herself has eczema, so all the products that she formulates are formulated with sensitive and specifically eczema prone skin in mind. Now personally, I don't really struggle with eczema, but my skin can be sensitized at times, and I do also deal with bouts of acne prone skin. So products like these that are catered to more sensitive skin folks generally vibe well with my skin. So that is something about this brand that I am drawn to, and that is another thing that makes me want to pick up their products and try them out. So this provides broad spectrum SPF 30. As far as the UV blockers in here, all we've got is zinc oxide, which is a mineral blocker. So if you're someone that's averse to chemical sunscreens or your skin just tends to be sensitive to them, that's another benefit of this product. Some other ingredients that they choose to highlight include prickly pear extract, which is supposed to have reparative properties and help protect against blue light. And then there's also white sage extract, which is supposed to reduce the appearance of irritation and help to neutralize free radicals. It retails for $30, and for that you get 1 fluid ounce of product. This foundation comes in 14 shades. So they have a chart of the shade range here. I'll go ahead and insert it here so y'all can see. The shade range does cover a pretty broad spectrum of skin tones. They have shades meant to cover fair, light, medium, tan, deep, and dark skin. And these foundation shades are also meant to be flexible. So each shade is supposed to accommodate a couple different skin tones. Oh, speaking about the shades, because I know some of y'all do use my videos as a reference for a shade match. Personally, I have mine here in the shade 25 Ocean Park. That one is described as being for medium skin tones with neutral undertone, and I'll go ahead and do a quick swatch on my arm so y'all can see, but this is actually a pretty good match for me. So that's what the shade 25 Ocean Park looks like. Again, medium with neutral undertone. Just kind of browsing here on the Sephora website, looking at the description of the shades. Like I said, it does have a good shade range. It does cover a broad range of skin tones, but it does seem to heavily favor neutral to warm skin tones. The lightest and the darkest shade, I believe, have cool undertones, but the other 12 shades have either medium or neutral undertones. So I did just want to point that out. The packaging of the product is made from 50% recycled post-consumer product. It retails for $30, and for that you get 1 fluid ounce of product. So that's really all I have to say about the product. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just get into the application, and then we'll finish up with a check-in and a final wear test, and I'll give my final thoughts and opinions on the product. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, y'all, so I'm ready to go ahead and just hop into this demo, this application for y'all, show y'all what this product looks like and how it applies. Before we do that though, I do just want to quickly go over my off-camera skincare routine. So basically, I just went ahead and cleansed my face. I went ahead and toned with this Good Molecules Niacinamide Brightening Toner. I followed that up with this Cerave PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion. And then I just went ahead and applied a base layer of SPF. Today I went ahead and used this Kose Sport Suncut UV Protect Gel. This has a really good broad spectrum SPF protection. So this is what I'm wearing as my base layer of SPF. And that's basically all I've got going on my face right now. I decided to forego any type of priming product today, so we're just going in as barefaced as we can be. Now in the product description, it does give you a couple options for application. It says if you're going for a more light coverage look, to just go ahead and apply it with your fingers. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, if you've watched my videos consistently for a while now, you know I'm not really a huge fan of applying foundation products to my face with my fingers just because of hygienic reasons, but honestly because this is supposed to be a 2-in-1 sunscreen product, on days when I kind of just want like a little bit of a skin evening effect, nothing too crazy, I have actually gone ahead and applied it with my fingers, and you do have to work it in a little bit, but it does blend out seamlessly. There's no streaks or anything, and it does give you pretty decent coverage. Now that's not how I'm going to apply it today, but I did just want to go ahead and say from past experience I have applied it with my fingers and it applies fine that way, but we're gonna go ahead and try a different method today. So on the website they said for a more medium coverage look to go ahead and stipple it on with a foundation brush or a sponge. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and apply it to the back of my hand, pick it up with a brush, stipple it on my face, and then as needed I'll go ahead and buff it out with a sponge. So I've got my foundation here. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but it's actually pretty liquidy. So what I like to do before I even go ahead and dispense any product is I like to go ahead and just give it a good shake just to make sure all the pigments and whatnot are evenly dispersed and nothing settled in the product. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply some to the back of my hand. I'm kind of just gonna use my hand as like a palette to apply product and pick it up from. So I just gone ahead and squeezed a pretty generous dollop on the back of my hand like so. I'm taking this Real Techniques Expert face brush and I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop up a little bit of product at a time and just stipple it on my complexion as needed. So just going in with a light layer here on the brush and kind of just stippling it on and then blending it out. It's giving me a nice wash of color. I wouldn't say it's giving me too much coverage here, but it is evening out some of the redness, and so far I'm not noticing any streaking or anything like that. I am going to go ahead and build this up with a second layer just so y'all see what we can get from this coverage wise. So I've gone ahead and applied a light layer of the foundation and this is what we're looking like. Even just a light layer has given me pretty decent coverage. My skin still looks very skin-like and my hyperpigmentation and all that stuff is still peeking through, but it has been significantly reduced. This product did claim that it was going to be able to cover up redness and even out your skin tone without covering up your skin's natural features, and so far it's delivering on that claim. So the foundation has had a minute to set while I've been rambling right now, so I'm going to go ahead and apply its second layer. So I still have some product on the back of my hand and I'm just going to go ahead and do the same method that I was doing earlier. So it's looking pretty good right now, just buffed in with a brush, but I do want to go ahead and follow up with a sponge just to make sure everything is seamless and to absorb any excess product I may have. Okay, so here's two layers. We'll come in closer so y'all can see. So this is what two layers looks like, stippled on, buffed in, and blended out with a sponge. Having applied two layers now, the coverage is even more significant than just one layer. My hyperpigmentation up here on the forehead has been like pretty much completely covered up. The redness here on the cheek, still peeking through a little bit, but again, it's been even more subdued by adding a second layer, and my skin tone in general has just been evened out. But this foundation is doing a really good job of mimicking the texture of my natural skin. It's looking really skin-like. It doesn't look like I have foundation on at all. And again, just like with the first layer, here on the cheek, my freckles, and here on the nose as well, my freckles are still peeking through. So it's covering up those skin issues that I don't necessarily want to peek through, like the hyperpigmentation and the redness. The natural features that I do want to show, like my freckles and whatnot, those are still peeking through the foundation, and it's giving it a really nice skin-like quality. I do want to go ahead and throw on some bronzer real quick just to give my face some warmth and color, and also to see how the foundation plays with other products. So for my bronzer today, I'm going in with this Drunk Elephant D-Bronzi Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. So this is supposed to be a liquid bronzer, and usually what I like to do with this is I like to mix it in with my sunscreen as the final step in my skincare routine to kind of give it a bronzy appearance. But since I've already gone ahead and done my skincare and applied a layer of foundation, what I'm going to do instead is, just like with the foundation, I'm going to go ahead and apply some to the back of my hand like a palette, and I'm going to take this e.l.f. airbrush stipple brush and use that to pick out the product, and I'm going to go ahead and try and bronze that way. So I've got a decent amount of product on the back of my hand like so, and I'm just going to go ahead and take the brush and pick up the product and stipple it on. Alright y'all, so that's the skin all bronzed up and whatnot. Excuse the glow, the shine. We've got cream on cream product going on right now, and the bronzer's still setting, so we're looking a little radiant, a little dewy right now, but that will tone down as the bronzer sets. But this is what it looks like, everything all blended out. I really love that bronzer just because since it's a liquid bronzer, it gives a really seamless blend. Now looking at my skin, everything is still covered up. It's still looking nice and evened. I don't know if you can tell from the brush because it is pretty muddied from the bronzer, but it does appear like it did lift the foundation ever so slightly. But looking here on the skin itself, I'm still having pretty much the same coverage going on. It doesn't look like the foundation has been disturbed at all on my face. But yeah, this is what we look like with foundation and bronzer applied. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick brow as well. So I'm just taking this NYX Control Freak brow gel to go ahead and set everything in place. Alright y'all, so this is the final look. Foundation, bronzer, brows. This is what we're looking like. I am going to do a little bit of a wear test today. Now, the product description doesn't claim that this is supposed to be long wearing in any type of way. And for me personally, this isn't something I reach for when I'm going for a heavy duty foundation. So I'm going into this wear test with that same mentality. I'm not going to do a super comprehensive wear test. I'm not going to wear it for like 8 or 10 hours, but I do have a couple errands I need to run today that's going to take up some time. So I figured I can go ahead and wear the foundation for a couple hours while I go ahead and handle that. So this is going to be our initial check-in point for the wear test. Come in close one more time so y'all can get a look and see how the foundation and everything looks. Quick time check. It is currently 9:34 a.m. and this is what we're looking like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go about my day, run those errands, and I'll be back in a few hours to do a final check-in with y'all, see how the foundation's worn, and give my final impressions on the product. All right, y'all, so I'm back to do my final check-in. So I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all how the foundation wore throughout the day. We're gonna really break it down, give my final thoughts and all that. Before I dive into the wear test though, I do just wanna do a quick time check. So currently it is 3:18 p.m. Now, when we did our initial check-in, it was around 9:30, I believe. So it's been a little over 5.5 hours. Let me get close so y'all can see how the foundation looks up close in person. So let's just address the elephant in the room. Yes, I am oily. It's been about 6 hours since I applied the product, and I am oily skin, so this is pretty standard wear for me about 6 hours in. And also keep in mind going in, there's no powders, none of that. I didn't go in with a mattifying primer, nothing to tone down the shine or anything like that. So that is just something to keep in mind. I am oily skinned, and I didn't do any type of prep to kind of address the appearance of oiliness. So don't let that discourage you from this foundation. Now, looking beyond the oiliness of my skin, looking at the actual integrity of the foundation, it still looks really good. Nothing's really breaking up anywhere. The redness here on my cheek and the hyperpigmentation up here on my forehead is still pretty well covered up. It's not peeking through or anything. The foundation didn't really slide off. Something I do want to make note of, like I mentioned earlier, I did run some errands, so I was wearing a mask while I was out. This virus is not about to catch me. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it did kind of transfer to the mask a little bit. Now, this product doesn't claim to be transfer resistant or anything like that. It doesn't claim to be long wearing. That being said, the amount of transfer that there actually wasn't really too bad. I've definitely experienced much worse with other foundation products. Really, the only areas where I'm seeing there was transferring was a little bit on the nose and on the very edges of the cheeks where the mask touches my face. I was also wearing sunglasses earlier because I was driving and it was really sunny, and I did notice that the foundation kind of came off in the bridge of the nose area onto the sunglasses. But actually looking here at the skin, foundation still looks pretty intact. It doesn't really look like it broke up too bad anywhere. Really, the only problem areas I'm seeing, there is a tiny gap of the foundation missing here right on the bridge of my nose, and then over here in the cheeks, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but the foundation did come off there as well. Like I said, that was where the mask was making contact with my skin, so it did rub off on those areas, but everywhere else it held up really well. It's still sitting here nice and pretty in the center of my face, hasn't shifted at all, and the foundation still looks smooth. It definitely doesn't look completely fresh. It definitely doesn't look 100% like it did when I first applied it, but it's not breaking down either, despite the fact that my oils are peeking through. It still looks smooth up here on the forehead and on my cheeks and chin. It's not really settling into my fine lines or texture. Really, the only problematic areas in that regard is right here in the under eye. It is settling into the crease, but honestly, most foundation products do that for me after long enough, and it's really quick fix. You just go ahead and take a clean finger and tap it out, and the foundation looks fresh. It's like it never creased in the first place. So that is my final check-in for this foundation. My takeaways from this are definitely not advertised as a long wearing foundation. I wouldn't reach for this if you plan to be doing physical activity, if you're going to be sweating, if it's hot or humid. But if it's a more casual day, you just want something that's going to give you a nice wash of color to even you out, this is the foundation I would reach for. It gives you good coverage. You can go in with a light layer if you want something more sheer, or you can build it up to more medium coverage if you need it. It dries down to a nice satiny finish, so if you're someone with normal or dry skin, you're really going to appreciate this foundation. It's nice and comfortable and hydrating. If you are an oily skin person, you don't necessarily have to rule this one out, but I would definitely recommend, if you have an established routine to help address oils, I would definitely recommend using whatever products you use to help mitigate those. So mattifying primers, setting sprays, and powders. That's what's going to make this foundation work for you if you have oily skin. But all in all, after 6 hours of wear, it still looks really good, except for the oils that are peeking through. But like I said, I didn't really do anything to help mitigate or control those. So that aside, everything else about this foundation looks really good, and I'm really impressed with how it wore. But that's going to be the end of this video. Let me know what you thought of this review. Let me know down in the comments what you liked about it, what you dislike. Let me know if you've tried this foundation before, what your thoughts are on it. I'm really curious to hear if other people have tried this product product, what your thoughts are. Let me know if you're interested in trying the product out if you haven't already. Also, if you have any suggestions for future video topics, be sure to leave those down in the comments below as well, so I can keep those in mind when I'm sitting down and thinking of things to film. Like I said earlier, if you haven't already, if you're interested in makeup and skincare related content, just go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell button as well, so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, I should be back shortly with a new video. Bye.